Do you feel lonely? Over 60% of US adults felt this way this year, and this number is likely going to go up. Despite the fact that we're more connected than ever, we still feel empty and have no idea what to do with ourselves. Everyone's life seems so good, while ours is just a miserable piece of shit that's gonna go nowhere. But if our world's more advanced than ever, why do so many people feel so lonely? Loneliness and being alone are not the same thing. Loneliness is the feeling of sadness a person has when they lack social connection. Being alone is when no one's around you. A person could be by themselves and be happy, while another person's in a crowd and they feel sad. The main difference is loneliness is more of an emotional feeling rather than a physical act. It doesn't matter if you have a lot of friends or people you know. Loneliness is not about how many relationships you have. It's about if the connections are strong and happy. You could have tons of friends or online followers, but if you don't really get to know who they are or feel like you can't be yourself in front of them, it still causes a feeling of isolation. Humans are natural social creatures, but this loneliness is causing us to not get those needs, and I feel like it's for three main reasons. You ever just open Instagram and see all your friends out having fun on their stories and posts while you're stuck at home not doing shit with your life? It's a common reality for a lot of people. Something that was supposed to make us more connected indirectly made us feel less connected because we only see the perfect parts of their lives. Like, social media allows us to edit the bad parts of our lives out, whether it's appearance, living conditions, or amount of friends. And it's not just average people that feel like this. Celebrities or people with a bunch of friends can feel lonely. Like, it's so easy to think people with a lot of attention and popularity have it together and never feel lonely. But this is far from the truth. While they have a lot of fans or people that like them, how many of them do they actually bond with? How many strong relationships do they have? There's also people that want to know what you're doing 24/7 and will go to extremes like stalking or finding your address, making the celebrity feel like the fan doesn't care. Because true fans would respect and understand that celebrities still have boundaries. Like, this invasion of privacy makes them feel more misunderstood and lonely. And I feel like a lot of fans do this out of FOMO. Everyone's always trying to jump on the latest trends, whether it's good or bad. Joining a trend makes us feel like we're a part of something and gives us something to relate to or enjoy. So when we're not part of one, it makes us feel left out and weird, especially for people not chronically online or people that don't have TikTok like me. Like, I'm never caught up with the latest slang or trends, and I have no idea what a lot of people are talking about. But it's not just online. People can be excluded from hangouts with their friends for no reason and question why no one told them about it. This exclusion can make that person think negatively about themselves or others. They'll have an internal battle and may isolate themselves to cope with the pain. Like, talking through Instagram is not the same as an in-person hangout or date, but that's becoming harder to do. There's no time for fun in today's world. Everyone's busy, especially with how the economy is. Adults have a bunch of stuff to do, like pay bills, work, cook, and so much other stuff to worry about. So there's no time to grab a drink with friends on Saturday, no time to go to the park with the kids, and there's definitely no time for a date. And it's not just adults. A lot of young people are experiencing this too. Teens have school first of all, then tons of extracurriculars or a job after school, plus homework and chores. So there's no time to swing by a friend's house and talk, or eat dinner with their family. With the little time we get for ourselves, we just want to be alone in our room. It's like we're trapped in this robotic cycle of waking up, going to work or school, coming back home, scrolling and watching TV, and then going to sleep. Our main source of fun and escape is technology, but that's drastically changing. Technology is fun and takes us out of reality, but for how long? It's not a source of entertainment anymore. It's a lifestyle. We use it for class assignments, we contact people through email, texts, and video calls, and we get assigned random projects or meetings that nobody asked for on our day off. Employers often tell workers to be on call at a moment's notice.
I'm gonna need you to send an email for me ASAP. Well, I don't have my laptop with me. That's fine, I'll wait.
And expect workers to put in voluntary overtime for no pay. But people sadly comply to this due to a toxic work culture and no work-life balance. And for the downtime we get, we usually use technology instead of going out. Like, why go to the movies when you can just watch one on Netflix or Hulu? Why go to a restaurant when you can just order delivery? Why go out to meet people when you can just talk to them in game? Why live your miserable life when you can just create a good one on The Sims? Technology is rapidly evolving to make things more convenient, but in doing that, it also lessens social interactions and makes us feel more isolated. How many times have you seen people hang out together only to see that they're all on their phones, not talking to each other? People don't like sudden changes, and that's for good reason. Like, being told you're moving across the country or hearing that your mom died is heartbreaking. And the hardest part about change isn't the change itself, it's the grief and isolation that comes with it. You feel sad, but don't know how to explain it. No one understands how painful your situation is. It makes a person feel lonely, even if there's tons of friends and family to offer endless hugs and words of encouragement. And this loneliness ties into a bigger issue. I don't know if it's just me, but I feel like people are so selfish now. Like, it's actually so bad. People are mainly focused on looking out for themselves and their goals rather than building a community and relationships along the way.
It's just me, myself, and I.
And while looking out for yourself and your goals is not a bad thing, like, on its own, it feels like it's gotten to a point where we think our own achievements are the only thing that matters. I'm not trying to downplay anyone's achievements or goals, but our culture now is focused on thinking for ourselves only. Some people will do anything to get their wants and goals, and they're so caught up in their dream that they forget about everything else, and they'll betray others to reach it. I mean, have you seen hustle culture? You know, to be successful and make money, you have to be evil, strong, and only think for yourself. People won't give a fuck about you or your problems. Life is a competition, and if you cry or show any signs of vulnerability, you'll never succeed. Mental health is not a thing to them. And this is common in toxic relationships. Some people might have a toxic, narcissistic boss with a huge ego that won't shut the fuck up. Others will have a toxic partner or friends that'll make you feel like you're nothing. Like, it's not just the stupid comments about your looks or financial status. Like, people will gaslight you into thinking you're not good enough and have to do more, making other parts of your life crumble without you realizing it. The worst part is that these scumbags could be people that were supposed to raise you well. Toxic parenting in the past is having a huge effect now. Kids that couldn't express themselves or never felt loved or heard had no choice but to push the people that gave them life away from their life. If they said how they felt, they were told to shut the fuck up and deal with it. The lasting effects make it harder to have meaningful relationships because they have a hard time trusting others and they don't know how to make one that could last. On the other hand, some parents just give their kid an iPad and don't parent. Like, I know life is really busy, but if you have a kid, you have to teach basic manners and empathy. I'm telling you, you don't want your son following Andrew Tate's advice. Even though there's some nice people, I feel like there's more narcissistic people that'll just use you. Like, it's getting harder to find genuine people that'll want to be your friend or just someone to talk to. The loneliness epidemic is ruining our lives, but there's got to be something we can do, right? There's a few solutions I have to this. The main thing I feel like people should do is find their purpose in life. Sometimes loneliness can come from a lack of meaning, so finding something that can help ignite it, whether it's volunteering, exercising, or learning a new hobby like a new instrument, can really help distract your brain from the sadness, while also giving you something fun and fulfilling to do. Setting personal goals can also help, but make sure your goals don't take over your life in a bad way. You should also take time for self-care. Take time to journal your thoughts, meditate, or talk to close friends and family. Eat balanced meals, and try to get some sleep. I know it sounds cliche, but giving your body its basic needs can really help it feel better both physically and mentally. If you need to, take a break from technology and social media and just clear your mind. Like, sometimes that really helps. And if you need to, maybe cut out some people that don't care about you. Remember how we said being alone and lonely are two different things? Certain egotistical people may be holding you back and making you feel lonely. I know it's not what you want to do, and it sounds mean, but it's not right to make yourself suffer just to feel like the relationship is good when it's not. Talk to others and make new friends when you feel ready. It takes time to gain confidence and be mentally ready to go out and talk to others. That's fine. You don't have to talk to others right away and make yourself feel uncomfortable. And don't be afraid to seek out professional help if you need it. Sometimes going to a counselor, therapist, or just anyone that has more knowledge than you can really give you some additional support and good advice for you. All of us will experience loneliness at some point, and that's okay. It's a natural part of life that feels exhausting and sad, but eventually, with time, patience, and a lot of support, we'll get through it. I'm not an expert by any means, but I want my channel to be a safe space for you guys. You're more than welcome to share your feelings in the comments and talk to each other or myself about it. Just be respectful, and don't forget to enjoy life.